Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast.
Woohoo!
Guys, I'm so excited. This is our 30th episode special. Can you believe it?
Sentimental,
I can't.
honestly.
It is. Wow.
It's kind of crazy, right? The time has flown. And, honestly, they've pretty much all been quarantine episodes besides a handful. So, and that's not counting supplemental blog audio things. Really, we're over the 30 mark if you're being technical. But I'm excited, guys. This is big.
This is big. If you think about it, 30 weeks. Wow.
Oh, right? That's a big chunk of our lives. It's more than a year, right? 52 weeks in a year. I'm just saying, this is big. Okay. So we wanted to kind of dedicate this episode to the very pivotal election season cycle that is upon us right now. Obviously, 2020 is very meaningful and weird in a lot of ways. And one of those ways is how big this election will be. And I think the age we are at as Gen Z women, it's just very interesting to see how us as voters are really going to make an impact in this election, more so than in 2016, I would say. So we kind of wanted to dedicate this episode. We're going to do 30 reasons to vote in 2020 to celebrate 30 episodes of the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast. I'm really excited.
What a great idea, Rach. That was good.
Yeah. I feel like we should have done it for our 20th episode. It would have been easier. But honestly, it wasn't hard coming up with 30 reasons. There are a million reasons why we should be voting. So I'm excited. We have a whole ensemble joining us today. This is going to be quite the party by the end. We have a lot of familiar faces of the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast that will be joining us throughout the episode. So stay tuned. I'm really excited. This is the first kind of time we're doing this format. So there's might be a little trial and error, but we're making it work. 30 episodes. We're resilient, Okay, let's kick it off with some normalcy. We'll do a quick her reflections rapid round. Hannah, want to kick us off with your H? Happy?
Sure. So I'm happy.
That's okay. We all picked our own letter.
Yeah, so I did AH for Hannah. No, happy, sorry. Anyway, I'm happy that my mom and I have been getting into a biking routine. So every Saturday morning we get up, we found a trail nearby that's nice and flat, and it goes on for 14 miles. We don't do the whole 14 miles, but we're building up our endurance, and we go on the trail, and then we get bagel sandwiches, nice BEC, bacon, egg, and cheese. And it's just really nice. A nice day to kick off the weekend and spend some time with my mama.
Oh, we love a mother-daughter bonding. You know us.
We do.
I love that, Han. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
What are you excited about, girl?
Sure. So, fall is coming, as weird as that sounds. So you know what that means. All the fall essentials, especially from Bath and Body Works, the candles. Now, listen, I can't have candles in my mom's house because she's allergic to all scents. Literally all scents.
Really?
Yeah, I tried to get candles before, and she's like, this is a new scent. I don't like it. This can't be, I'm going to sneeze to death. So essentially I can only really have candles at my dad's house, or our future apartment. So just be prepared. But I do love a good Bath and Body Works candle.
Mm-hmm.
They are a little pricey.
Oh, yeah. You gotta wait for them to go on sale.
Yeah. That's true.
Well,
but I'm excited.
Kay's going to be featured in this episode a little later on. We love Kay on the Blogcast, but one of her significant love interests of her life is a chemist for Bath and Body, and he makes all the scents. So she gets candles out the wazoo.
You're kidding me!
That sounds literally amazing.
I have to text her.
This is
hook some girls up.
No. She's got the hookup. So
that's crazy.
I wish it was
wow.
But we have a submission. But we'll get to that anyway. Okay, that's great. I'm excited for fall as well. And I'm excited for Kay and her love. Okay. My R realization is that I'm getting better / I need to get better at communicating what I want and what I need. I just think for so long I get so nervous about it happens within professional ways and I think personal ways too, where it's I know how I'm feeling and I get to a place where I'm very confident in it, and I have a very hard time communicating that to the people who I need to. And it's not fair to them either, whether it's a job or a love, it doesn't matter, or even a friend. I just think it's good to don't let things fester when you feel a certain way. Communicate. That's my realization.
This is a great time. Rachel, I'm just kidding.
That was good. I was like, oh no.
Oh my God, she's about to leave right now.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That was so good, Hannah.
Oh my God, it's too good. Okay. I love it. We love a rapid fire, her reflection round. It's great to catch up with you three ladies. Also, just quickly, I want to say I loved the Talk and Body mini series that we did, and I feel like that should be a recurring thing. I think there's enough to do with it, and the reception we have been getting is so great. I hope that we have some new people listening because of that, because it did well, and I think it was I felt so much better having the conversation. So I'm just excited about it. So I just wanted to plug that too. Brennan will be here as well later on. So this is going to be so fun, like a real party. Okay, let's dive in though to start our reasons to vote. So I will start off because recently it came out today. We're recording this on, Wednesday? Yeah, we're recording this on Wednesday, and it came out, I first saw it on People, but it's kind of everywhere. Meghan Markle and Gloria Steinem sat down for a backyard chat, which was put on by the Makers Women platform, and essentially just facilitating insightful conversation among like powerhouse women in pop culture and like feminist culture in general. So they had this great long sit down. The whole video is coming out later this week, so by the time this is out, that'll probably be available for everybody. But the article came out with a few really good quotes, and I am taking reason number 1 why we should vote in 2020 straight from Gloria Steinem, who's like iconic. She says, well, if you don't vote, you don't exist. I mean, it's the only place where we're all voting. That's okay, but it's true. It's like, you do not really exist as an American. Your voice is not being heard if you don't vote. So do it, for the love of God. Reason number 1. Han, you want to hit us with number 2? We're just firing away.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. You like cut out for like a quick second.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Yes, mine's short and sweet, but it's literally to stand up for what you believe in. And like, if you want to profess, now is your time to do it. And no one's stopping you. So all the more power to you,
Absolutely. And especially like these bigger elections, you only get the presidential election only comes around every 4 years. So it's like, if you miss that vote, a lot's going to change in those 4 years. You know what I mean? Unless you.
Yeah, I missed the first, my birthday's late, so I missed the last election. So actually, this will be my first time voting in a presidential election.
Exciting, Hannah.
Yeah, because I missed it by like 6 days.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so first timer right here.
Yay! Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here with you talking about it.
It's a fun experience too. Like, just in general, like filling out the ballot, etc. It's just fun.
I'm excited. I know. I'm pretty sure I registered 3 times, I think, because
just in case.
I think at Fordham they had something to register, and then when I got my new license, I registered again. So I'm pretty sure I'm good.
But you can check online though, guys, to see if you're registered, and I just do it just in case. It literally 2-second results. So do that.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited.
Hi, Hannah. We love. Oh my God, that's a great reason.
Thank you.
Emma, how about you? Hit us with the third reason.
Sure. So my question to you guys is, what is our future generations going to think, or how will this impact our own kids? And we're kind of just creating that foundation. And I know it's kind of hard to put that in perspective now, since we're young and we're just getting into the voting scene, etc. But really we're creating history, and we're creating that foundation for our own kids and for our own, for the next generation. So
moment is so interesting to me, and I think it's half because we are just growing up and thinking about the future in ways that we hadn't before, because when we first got into college, okay, you're just thinking about the next 4 years really, but now is the first time where we're really thinking out into the future. And we're also at a very interesting political climate in America, where I think everybody's really thinking about even the actual climate, you know what I'm saying, the global,
right, the environment too.
All of these things are kind of more pertinent certainly than they were 4 years ago, probably more so than they were a year ago, sometimes even months ago. You know what I mean? A lot has changed within the landscape of America, and it's very cool that we get the opportunity now to let our voice be heard in a very important and significant way. So that's a great reason. I love that. All right, we're starting off strong. I'm gonna start round out this first intro reasons round with reason number 4. It's literally going to be very embarrassing for you if you don't. Like, everybody's talking about it. It's so important. It's more important than ever. And I think people are more into it than ever, rightfully so. So if you have to go around and like lie and say that you voted just so people won't think less, just vote. Like, what the hell are we doing? Am I right?
Yeah, that's like more effort to just lie or do a reason to
But you know what I mean? Like, I imagine there would be a lot of shame that comes with that. Like, oh, like, did you vote? Da da da. And you're like, oh no. It's like, what? Like, it's embarrassing. It truly is. At this time, you're gonna like give up that right? No, X. Okay, that is our top 4 reasons, and now I think it's time to invite in our first.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, exciting!
You guys excited?
Yes, let's bring them in, or at least one in.
Let it be a surprise. Let's just let him pop in. And also, like, he doesn't know when he's being admitted, so I like wonder if we're gonna like catch him. I don't know. Here he comes. Ready?
Here he comes.
I'm like,
Kevin.
Hello.
oh my god, my internet connection is unstable. Hold on.
Oh no.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Kevin Vera guy.
Got like a
Am I
whole
on the
mic
air?
and setup. Yes.
Are we live? Oh my god.
Kevin Vera,
I'm nervous.
welcome back to the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast. It's a pleasure to see you today. How are you?
It's great to be here. We've completed the Herc quadrilogy. All 4 of us are here. We've done it.
Herc.
Big. I'm so excited to hear. Kevin, do you have a happy, excited, and/or realization you'd like to share before we start?
I have an excited. I just recently started playing music in person with people again, safely, with people that are trusted and close by. So that's been fun. I've been playing with them. So probably see them again this weekend. Some nice bar pleaser covers coming your way eventually.
Nice.
That's very exciting, Kevin. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy that you're here. I think I'm very excited to hear what you have to say. Reasons to vote 2020. Just give us one. Just start with one. You could pick.
Okay. I really only have one big one. And it's kind of heavy. So do I have a time limit?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Am I hopping right into it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. So my topic's kind of heavy, so I thought I'd, ease the tension in. I thought of a creative, fun, quick way to like relieve the tension for like a fun way to introduce a pretty heavy topic. So I made a song for it. And I'm going to play it right now. So I'm going to introduce my topic with a song. Here we go.
Amazing.
Yeah. Fascism.
Schism.
Yay. You can sing along at home if you know the words.
That was a really strong intro, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you for prepping that for us.
I figured, in lieu of a trigger warning, I might as well make some music, and then I feel like that eases the creative tension to go and start talking about fascism in America, if that's where we all want to go.
I mean, you're leading this conversation now. This is your segment, buddy. Fascism.
I guess I did come in a little strong, didn't I? Or I kind of taken the floor. All right.
This isn't your first
Well, I guess.
podcast. You can do anything you want.
Oh my god. Well, I guess since we've sung the song, we might as well talk about fascism, shall we?
Yeah.
So, American fascism, the rise of American fascism, and the ability to end it, put an end to it before it really gets going, is the reason why I think every single person should vote against fascism. Obviously, realizing that there's a active fascist movement in America is probably the most important political influence and realization I've had. So I had my excited, and then that's probably also my realization. And there's a lot of empirical data and research that supports that the movement is real and that it's a very real threat. So I want to do my best to display that information here. But also another, disclaimer, I'm not an expert. I'm just a person that is trying to stay informed as a citizen. So that's my little intro.
It's a great intro. I'm very excited to hear what you have to say. Not that I'm like, that sounded like I was like doubting. I was like, where is it gonna bring? Like, I'm not into fascism. I don't want you to think that, but I will. It's not my brand personally, but I'm excited to hear like your thoughts.
I like how you said it like it's a Netflix show. Like, I don't really know. I'm not really into fascism, but like, you know, you might be able to convince me.
What would it? Never mind. Okay, never mind.
I think the most popular fascist movie is Sky High. Have you guys ever seen Sky High?
The Disney Channel movie?
The decom?
The Disney Channel movie, I'm pretty sure, is very fascist. Like, go back and watch it. I know we have like fond memories of it, but it's literally like these kids that have no say in anything just get picked up one day, and then they get separated into groups, and there's just in-group, out-group, get out of here, and then they get all the benefits, and then the out-group. So we can go back and I didn't have on my notes, Sky High is not written down, so let's not go deep on that, but I thought that was a nice little intro.
Right. Okay.
So maybe I can put the question back to you guys, like, has American fascism been something you'll have talked about with friends or family or looked into?
For me, not even not at all. Not for a second with anybody that I know until this moment, honestly.
My dad brings it up quite often, actually, because he's from Italy. So he's all about it. I mean, as in like, oh my gosh,
gotcha.
No.
I got him.
Oh my God, that sounds really bad. But as in like, he likes to compare it to, in a like, it's bad. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry.
Get him on the mic. I want to talk to him.
No. He's a good guy. Trust me. Trust me.
I believe it.
Mussolini bad.
Those are my notes. That's it. It just says Mussolini bad, fascism bad. Hannah, anything?
No.
That was the challenge. Okay, I just don't want to continue.
No, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, cool. So we have a plethora of knowledges about it. I'm actively learning about it because it has to be unlearned that America is not invulnerable to fascism. We were very much vulnerable, and we're experiencing it now. I believe I went through the public school system in New York. I think a lot of people that went through the schooling system were taught that American ideologies are the antithesis of fascism. There's no way we could be fascist. We went to war to fight fascism. There was D-Day, and we bombed imperialist Japan twice, and there was the Constitutional Bill of Rights and checks and balances, and there's no way we could ever become fascist. I mean, that's for Europe to do in the early 1900s. But we are actively going through the prescribed steps that ultimately that every fascist state has gone through, that ultimately leads to a fascist state. Another thing that people might be interested in or know about is Antifa or Antifa. Is that familiar to everyone in the... No. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like a big talking point with the Black Lives Matter movements and has been co-opted by the right as a catch-all for all protesters. Antifa stands for anti-fascist. It's a decentralized ground roots system that's fighting fascist oppression in America. There's American Antifa, but Antifa is something that can take place all over the world. A lot of people hear Antifa and think it's like a terrorist group like Al-Qaeda, Antifa, and ISIS, like they all go together, but it's not. It's not centralized. It's just anti-fascist. They dress up in black, they have red flags, but again, it's just anyone who wants to do it. But the Trump administration and the right have co-opted it and say that Antifa are radicals that are for a lawless state, and they group in all from peaceful protesting to radical destruction of buildings and coups. They all group in with Antifa, and that's a pretty common trend in fascism, to group in everyone so that there's in-groups and out-groups.
I feel stressed. Anyone else feeling stressed? Show of hands. Who feels unsettled? Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry if this is not how you expected to go. Was I like, what was I had like, oh, vote, like it's an exercise, like a muscle you're supposed to exercise, but also I care about anti-fascism a lot. So should I like cut it short? Because I know you have other people coming through.
I mean, we do have other people, so that's the only reason. I feel like maybe I was gonna say like a fascism episode, we would like brand it differently than that. I feel like we should
the fascism episode.
Yeah, the fascism special. Like, I don't know if we'll do that exactly, but for
My
this.
dad is not a fascist, by the way. Like, that sounded bad.
We know. No, I believe that result. Like, I know what you mean. No, but yeah, Kevin, let's circle back to like reasons to vote. Like, let's just clarify explain the connection.
Yeah.
Explicitly. Give me a soundbite, Kevin.
A soundbite. So we are going through, there are prescribed steps that lead up to fascist states. Every state that has become fascist has gone through these. So that's the good news. The bad news is that we are in those steps. The good news is that we are able to observe that we're going through the steps and then vote to stop them. And we can recognize them, reorganize, and if we choose to stop these steps, you can find these online. Stages of fascism, political deadlock, an advancing left, a conservative side that doesn't want to work with the others, that feels reinforcements, a political outsider that comes in and acts as a strong man. We're going through all of these, and we can vote to stop the progression, but we have to realize that there is a fascist movement that can ultimately lead to a fascist regime if we don't pay attention to it. Yeah.
Again, like raise the hand if you're stressed, but channel the stress, vote it out, vote your stress away.
Vote the stress away.
That's a great reason. Talk to me about the exercising of the muscle. I want to hear that too.
Yeah, so I think the fascism is a virus, and the antidote is having strong democratic discourse and a strong democratic system. So if we have an educated, active, and excited to vote populace, it's much harder to let fascism in. It's like if you go on runs, eat an apple a day, you have a strong body, you're going to have a stronger immune system. So for decades, we've seen the defunding of education, the defunding of voting rights. Voter suppression is, there's trends of that in America too. We have to also recognize those and train the muscle, because we're not doing that right now, and it's atrophying because we have an unexcited, uninterested, uneducated populace, and that's partially on the populace and it's partially on the people that wanted it to be that way. So it needs to be exercised, and a lot of people, I live in New York State, a lot of people think I don't need to vote, I'm not a swing state, but just like going to the polls, seeing what democracy looks like, taking action, feels amazing, and also is strengthening those democratic muscles that you have, that we kind of just sit on the couch all year, every 4 years, every 2 years. So this is our chance to work them out.
Work it, Kevin. Work it. That was a great answer.
You're making me blush.
Those are great reasons to vote. I appreciate the intro that you gave us. I think it really did supplement the discussion well, and I appreciate it. Let's hear now from a good friend of yours and a co-host of yours,
oh my God,
Devin D'Agostino, who couldn't be with us live, but who sent in a video submission, and I'm excited to play it. So here we go. I'm going to do a screen share, h.e.r.LIFE's first screen share. Okay. I hope that this works. We did a tester, and I think it should. I hope the audio works. If it doesn't, flag me, okay? Devin.
Happy 30th episode extravaganza to the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast. Congratulations, guys. So cool, and also so cool that for episode number 30, you guys are doing 30 reasons to vote. So here are 3 of mine. Reason 1, make your voice heard. You got something to say? Best way to say it is through voting. Reason number 2, to incite positive change. In the system in which we live, change is started through voting. So vote. And reason number 3, if you don't vote, then you can't complain, right? If you didn't try to make a difference, then you have no right to complain. So everybody, get out there and vote, vote, vote. So important election. Unless of course you're voting for Donald Trump, then you know what? No reason to vote. Maybe stay in, skip voting this election. Be better for all of us in the long run. But otherwise, get out there and vote. Once again, congratulations, Rachel, Emma, and Hannah. 30 episodes, so cool. To 30 more. All right, thanks.
Oh, Devin. Okay, any issues? Did we hear that? Was it good?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So that was Devin with a side appearance of his new facial hair, which I think we're all feeling.
So handsome. So
He's
handsome
gonna
and
be
so
a great
wise.
teacher.
He's gonna be such a good
Oh my
teacher.
gosh.
Oh, he's gonna be a teacher?
Your
Yeah,
dad.
but Teach for America. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's gonna be
So
so good.
And great reasons. I think the one that really resonates is like, you can't complain if you don't get out and vote. And I think a lot of Americans love to complain about all kinds of stuff. And that's fine. It's part of it. But like, exercise your road. Work it out. Vote. Okay. That's great. Okay. I think it's time, guys, to admit the other party guests. Are you ready? Let me bring up my
Yes.
Am I staying or am I leaving
stay.
the party?
No,
Oh,
stay and provide continuous commentary. I think it's gonna be good. Okay, here we go. I'm like always like nervous, like they don't really know when I'm gonna admit them, so it's just like, who's it gonna be? I'm just gonna do both at once. It's a joint effort. And they're just
The
joint.
waiting room.
The
Kevin?
waiting room is now empty. We're all here.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Okay, let's start with G. G, introduce yourself. Gianna Castellano, everybody.
Hi, I'm Gianna. All of you know me. What am I gonna say?
Well, you are, to h.e.r.LIFE listeners, we did the Church Girl episode. I think we called it Sex, Drugs, and Church Music. And it's one of my favorite episodes. I think it was a really great discussion that we had. That was back when we were still at Fordham. First of all, how are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm sad, but you know, you get through it, I guess. How are you guys?
Take it in there. Right, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad that you're here. We are so excited to hear your reason to vote. But before we do that, let's hear from Laurel Dillon and a very special guest, Zach Lowry. Welcome to the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast. Wait, I can't hear you. Can anybody else?
I can't hear you, Laurel.
Laurel?
Laurel, no.
I think she's just grabbing a little headphone. In the meantime, this makes for bonus YouTube content. Does anything have anything they want to say for the bonus YouTube content? That will be
I got like 40 more minutes of fascism notes if you guys like want to let me talk about that, or is that too much?
I mean, honestly, live your truth. Like, I feel so red because I'm hot. So I'm wearing my Lady Liberated sweatshirt because I think it's fitting, but like it's just too warm for a sweatshirt in this.
See everybody. I'm sorry. It's just like, hi. Hello.
I know.
Zach, welcome to the crew. Like, this is a lot for you. You're meeting a lot of people all in one foul swoop.
I think I like ate something. Like my lip is super itchy, so if you see me like biting, like I've been biting my lip this whole time. It's so itchy. I don't know why.
Do you feel swollen?
So YouTube bonus content. There you go. Itchy lip. Hello.
The lovebirds? Do we hear any?
Whoa. I like how you guys are like matching too.
You know, we love a coordinated moment.
Coordinated couple.
Episode special.
Because they can hear us, right?
All right, Kevin, hit us with some fascism content. We're stalling.
All right, so fascism. Robert Paxton. He's a fantastic.
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll bookmark that.
Sorry,
Back
Kev.
to fascism.
Sorry, Kev.
Wait, Laurel?
Okay, hello. Sorry, I don't know why, but
Hi
my
there.
computer was working, so we had to switch to the AirPods.
You're back now. They're potted up, and we are ready to meet you. Introduce yourself. Laurel Dillon, Zach Lowry. It's so great to have you on the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast.
So excited to be here, Rach.
Thanks so much for having us.
Oh my God, I'm like really thrilled. Okay, great to be here. Laurel was on what? You were on the quarantine episode and on the Mother's Day special.
Yes, Mother's Day in quarantine, yes.
Fans will know her voice, but now the YouTube fans are seeing her face, and I'm so excited. Okay, let's start with G. G, give us your reason to vote, and anything else you want to say about 2020 election. Just give us all your voting thoughts. You missed Kevin's thoughts on fascism, but I'm sure we will circle back at some point. So just go ahead, lay it on us.
So I said that, I mean, why not? Like, what else do you have to do, basically? Especially now, I don't know about you guys where you are, but New Jersey's doing mail-ins, so there's really no excuse. But I mean, this is your chance to be part of something that's greater than just you. You know, it's your chance to be part of your community and really have a say in who legislates that community. And this country is so great. So why would you not want to have a say in, you know, the office?
Absolutely. We love that. That's a great reason. I'm happy you're here. It's so great to see you. It really is. I feel it's been so long. I'm just glad that you're here under these circumstances. It's cool to see everybody. This is our biggest episode, guys. It's such a party. Okay, let's shoot it back over to Laurel. Give me your reason, sister.
Okay, so my reason to vote. Okay, so first of all, I'm from Washington. Mail-in voting has been the case in Washington for several years, which is super lucky because voting is really easy and it lowers disenfranchisement. But I think the main reason to vote is because it's our civic duty. It's written into the Constitution. If you have the ability to vote, there are so many people, not only in this country, but in the world, who would love to have that opportunity. There are so many people who are disenfranchised in this country, whether through barriers to vote, through voter registration issues, through felon disenfranchisement. And if you have the ability to vote and you're actively choosing not to, I think that's wrong. Like, if you have that ability, it is so coveted and so important to use it.
Yes, it's a civic duty, sister. I feel that. Well said. She's poli-sci. We feel you. Zach, I'm turning it over to you. Do you have a bonus reason?
I'll just add on. I think it's a great way to express your opinions and have some kind of an impact on the laws that continue to change and shape our country. I think we have a lot of positive change that we could have, and I'd like to see that happen. I just filled out my primary ballot right before this, so be partaking in my civic duty.
We love to see it. We love a thematic evening of voting for you. I'm so happy. This is so thrilling. Okay, I'm excited for you guys to stick around. Like I said to you before, and like the million emails I sent, I'm sorry, this was like a stressful episode to plan, but I think it's going well. I'm very happy that you're all here. But stick around. We're going to continue. We're only on reason number 12 at this point, so we have lots more reasons to go through. Stick around, wave me down, chime in often, because I think we can have a lot of cool conversations based on the rest of the reasons. But seriously, thank you guys all for being here, guys. I'm like sweating, but I'm excited. Okay. I'm going to bring us back for reason number 12 to Michelle Obama. You should vote in 2020 because Michelle Obama told us to, like, very explicitly, and I will do anything she tells me. Like, I don't know if you guys watched her DNC speech. I hope to God that you did. I thought it was so just like profoundly inspiring, and at such a pivotal time. Obviously, I think everyone was like, will she up the We Go High speech from the last convention, and like, can she? That was so epic. But like, she did, you know. Thoughts on Michelle Obama? Anybody? Kevin's coming in.
I think she's great.
Me too.
Yeah. I can't lie. I haven't watched any of the convention. I have no reason not to. I just have been watching other things that bring me joy, because that's what I need right now. I think I get my political information, still elsewhere and still constantly. It would probably be best to see the leaders of, the possible, what am I trying to go here? It'd be good to hear it straight from the firsthand accounts of people that, creating a unifying base. My mom is telling me every night to watch the convention, and then I'm like, maybe, and then I turn on Hulu, and then it's Hulu's live streaming both the RNC and the DNC, and then I'm like, nah, Broad City one more time. So like, that's where I'm at. But you, Rachel, and everyone in this chat has made me want to go back and see the live stuff, the recorded stuff, and get some more info.
There's definitely like a lot of highlights available if you seek them out, where I think you can get abridged versions of all the very pertinent stuff, because it is just a lot of content to consume. And I think you can get bogged down by it, especially by the Republican convention stuff. Like, there's a lot of weird things happening right now there. But whatever, there's been some good memes, if nothing else. But my point that I also wanted to make about Michelle Obama is, like, if Michelle cannot, I'm not on a first name basis, if Michelle Obama cannot convince you to vote, and not only vote, but like vote for Biden in 2020, then I certainly cannot. Like, she is much more, she's just way smarter than I am, and I think more persuasive than I could ever be because of who she is. But check it out if you do. That's like my plea to you, because I think it will change your perspective. Emma, I know you also wanted to reference Michelle Obama, so I'm going to throw it to you.
Yeah, no, a main part of her speech, I guess this is reason 13, was just to be empathetic. And I mean, it's just not only about you, it's also about everybody around you. So vote for the people around you.
Absolutely. No, for sure. I think, yeah, that was just such a strong thing. And you can't disagree with that. Like, we should have empathy for our fellow Americans. And there are certainly some fellow Americans right now who are not being treated equally. And if we can use our vote to help change that, why wouldn't you? Right? Vote. Kevin, it looks like you're going to say something. Okay.
I just really like how you said fellow Americans. That's all I want to say. I think it just makes me feel so unified with everyone in the chat and everyone in the country. Fellow Americans. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
No, I agree. That was a good little pump up. Okay. Another fellow American who we're about to hear from is none other than Sarah Brown, who I love with my whole heart. She could not be here. She's very busy. Law student. She is what I'm calling our resident legal analyst on the h.e.r.LIFE blogcast. She's in law school right now, killing it, and I'm very proud of her. She sent us in a video submission as well, talking all about, I don't know, she gets more into the legal stuff. I'm gonna cut that out. That was dumb. Okay, we're screen sharing again. Are we ready? I'm always scared this isn't gonna work. Sarah looks so beautiful in the video too. She does a red lip for voting.
Hi guys, my 2 quick reasons to vote, especially this November 2020, is that the President of the United States selects the Supreme Court justices. They nominate it and it's confirmed by the Senate. Traditionally, the Senate always confirms the President's nominations, the most recent being Justice Kavanaugh about 2 summers ago. Over the next term, for the next incoming president, there'll be about 3 to 4 new justices that need to be appointed, and these are lifetime appointments. So 9 justices deciding on the biggest cases and biggest issues affecting our nation. So this is very important to throw your support behind whichever candidate you believe will be putting Supreme Court justices that align with your political beliefs. And the second reason going along with that is presidents also choose federal court justices, which is lesser known, but these judges are at the forefront of major cases affecting LGBTQ rights, transgender rights, reproductive rights for women, gender violence cases, all of these cases which eventually might be selected by the Supreme Court. These are really big deals in changing case law and precedent, and the president nominates every single one of them, and these could be tons of cases over, their 4-year to 8-year terms. So get out there and vote this in November. Make sure you research the candidates and know what their platforms are. Make sure that they align with your goals, and also potentially, the people they align themselves with, and who they'll be choosing not only for their cabinet, but potentially as future justices. Thanks, guys.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. We love Sarah. Isn't she great, you guys? Man, the red lip, no? God damn. Okay, let me minimize. Any responses to Sarah's good stuff? Also, Laurel and Zach had to blast, but wait, love isn't. Can I just have a side tangent? They fell in love during quarantine. They met on Hinge. This is not an ad.
Saw them on Love in the Time of Corona, right? That's on Hulu. So I
started watching that today.
Is it good? Do we like it?
Let's court it.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Because they actually filmed it in quarantine, right?
I can't wait. Anyway, so I also want to have Laurel on for 11 quarantine episodes similar, because I just am so curious about how this is going down. They seem very happy. He seems great. I'm just happy for them. I'm happy they came on. We got a boyfriend on the Blogcast. This is big. Okay. Anyway, back to Sarah. We love Sarah. I think those were really excellent points. Appointments like these are so huge. And also the allocation of our tax dollars, which I think Emma also wanted to bring up. Emma, the floor is yours.
Oh, right. I think oftentimes, especially also last voting, I didn't really think where my money was going to, and also being an adult now, I kind of obviously take care more of my finances. So it's our money, and so we should choose how our tax dollars are spent. And what Sarah said, do your research on these platforms, who they associate with, because it's our money and we should know what's going to happen to it.
No, absolutely. I think also like on a grander scale, yes, because we're becoming adults and like money is more apparent to us than it's ever been, but also I think just within how money gets spent within,
right,
you know what I mean? So like I think the way funds are allocated in America, and then it's like on a smaller scale as well, we hear a lot about the defund the police movement and all of that, which is just something I had never considered before because there was never a context where I could learn about it and really understand it. But to understand what that means and how our vote can help to, I don't know, just address situations where certain Americans are being underserved or disserved, you know what I mean, by the system, and how our tax money via our vote can really make an impact there. So there's a lot of weight behind it, you know what I mean? And I think it's very important to do your research too, because obviously like presidential, there's two main candidates, so you're going to vote for one of those, but there's so many other things that we need to be considering. And I think certainly in 2016, I think I was kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I didn't consider it as much. You know what I'm saying? This is making sense. Okay, so yeah, let's throw it back to Hannah for reason number 18, because I feel like it kind of lends itself here.
Yes. So basically my 18th reason, or our 18th reason, respect those who fought so hard to give us this right, whether it be like founding fathers, suffragettes, like anybody, like Laurel touched, I forget, I think it was Laurel who touched on this earlier, like other people in other countries don't have this right. And so like we should be thankful for it, and it's quite frankly rude if you don't. So use it for those who fought so hard for us to get it. So there, I said it.
You said it. No, I agree. I think I think it's blatantly disrespectful for you not to exercise your right, that someone like literally risked lives and changed the courses of history so that we can. For you to just sit back and be like, not for me. Screw you. Sorry. That's how I feel. Emma? Oh, sorry, Hannah? Kevin?
I was just gonna say, agree with Hannah, in that, and add on to it, in that not only do people in other countries not have the right to vote, also echoing what Laurel said, a lot of people in America don't have the right to vote, and it's pretty scary because we like to think that, I live in the New York suburbs, I just go down to my old parish, St. Francis, and I go and I cast my vote and I get my sticker and I'm like, oh, this is very nice. If I get convicted of a felony on the way home, I really don't want to, but I'd lose my right to vote. Also, we have a pandemic going on. There's also a pandemic of voter suppression going on in America. So vote for the people that you think are going to make voting easier in the future. The USPS is a good example, the problem going on with them. So just wanted to echo a lot of stuff that Hannah and Laurel said that I really agree with.
Yeah, absolutely. And also stuff that I think is becoming more readily available information. Again, like I keep comparing it to 2016 because I think also I was just a very different person back then when I was voting, and I didn't take it as seriously, maybe as I should have, certainly not as seriously as I'm taking it now, because there's so much more attention on all of the issues that really and truly will be impacted by who is elected in November. So definitely true. Great points all around. It's time for reason number 19, which was very intentionally selected. Emma Spoldi, hit me.
Well, it's all about the 19th Amendment, people, okay? Woo! We are celebrating 100 years of women's constitutional right to vote. So, for all the women out there, heck, the men out there, heck, anybody out there, vote for women.
Yes, it's so true. And I think it's just such an inspirational moment in time to see all of the cool things on social media happening, celebrating the 100 years. It's here, like, it is so meaningful. You cannot deny there is something so just like, we're here, right? Like, don't you feel it? 2020. Everyone's like, yeah, I do feel it.
I was just thinking that, like, Rachel, while you were comparing to 2016 and the person you were back then, I was thinking how lucid this moment felt of being on Zoom, talking about an election coming up, and thinking back to who I was in 2016. I feel like I was just like a floating man, just like floating through the world, just hoping that everything works out and expecting it to. And now I feel very much that I am present and need to act to make it so, the things that I want. So nice. You made me feel very present there.
We're all,
Headspace.
look at us, Headspace.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. No, I feel good about that. That's a good point. Also, something I wanted to point out, which I've seen a lot on Instagram about, like, 1920 was great and it was a big milestone, but important to note, it was a milestone for white women. Like, that's a very important, you know, disclaimer to put out there. So I think now, being more aware of that, I think we continue the fight to make equality, like, actually equality. I think it sounded like, oh yeah, gender equality. No, it wasn't. Like, it was for the privileged, you know? So I think that's always something to keep in the back of our minds. It's always more than just a binary also too, you know what I mean? So things to consider. I think we're all just becoming smarter and more progressive and cool about it. So I'm happy to be here, guys. Okay, I think we are going to transition now to Kay, who sent us in a little audio blurb, and she made some really great points. I love Kay. I love when she's on the show. Hannah, I know she echoed some of the points you made before. So anyway, without further ado, let's play Kay's and then we'll talk about her.
Hey y'all, it's Kay. I think this is such an awesome podcast and an awesome topic to tackle, especially in the state of the world that we're in right now. When I think about the personal reason to vote, I kind of take a moment to step back and reflect on the places I've traveled and the societies I've been to, and just seeing how the dynamic works between the people and the government. And I think a lot of people forget how incredibly blessed and lucky we are that we have the opportunity to vote. I know a lot of the times people feel like their voice doesn't matter, or just the way our system is set up. But it just blows my mind that in other places, you know, they don't care what the people have to say, and their voice doesn't matter, and it never has mattered. And I know that only until recently, so many of us never even had the chance to vote. Like, women never had the chance to vote. Minorities never had the chance to vote. And the fact that we do now and to not, I feel like it's such a disgrace to our ancestors that worked so hard for those rights. So that's why I'm going to vote. You should too.
She's so cute. I love her. Like, well said. Like, she really lays it on you, and then she's like, you should too. And we all should. Emma, you're muted.
She also has a great podcast voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. She has a sexy voice. Like, I could listen to her say all kinds of stuff. Don't you think? Like, she really has a good voice. Oh, I love her.
I miss her. No.
Oh, great. She's so great. She'll be returning soon, I'm sure. But I don't know. Great points. I think we like touched on it all, but I think she really summarized it in a really great and impactful way, and it just sounded great. Replay that part. I feel like that will be our little sound card because the audio was really good. Okay. I'm going to pivot now to like a recent-ish piece of news that I'm sure we're all aware of at this point. My most recent reason for voting, which is the 22nd reason for this episode, is Jacob Blake. I'm sure we've all, like I said, heard this story, but protests have been erupting lately after this 29-year-old Black father was shot multiple times in the back by police after trying to break up a fight in broad daylight. He's now paralyzed, which is awful, but thank God he's not dead, because that could have easily happened. He will probably never walk again. People are outraged, rightfully so. Also, breaking news, I think right now, I forget which team it was, but one of the NBA teams, if anybody knows this, jump in, is like forfeiting the game, I guess.
Milwaukee, I think.
Yes, which I think is huge. Again, we talk a lot about the intersection of pop culture and politics, and I think the NBA is a phenomenal example of that right now, with how just outspoken they've been about Black Lives Matter. And also, like, think about it. Think about everything. Like, bring it back to Colin Kaepernick in the NFL. He was put through, so you know what I mean? Like, he lost his career because of how the stance that he took, and now it's the norm. Like, now that's encouraged. I just think, I don't know, like, kudos to Colin Kaepernick for kind of being that for everyone before it was okay and, like, trendy to do so. And I just think that's such a phenomenal example that the NBA's recent stances have reminded me of. I just think it's very cool and interesting. But to bring it back to voting, I think our vote can and will affect the way police brutality is addressed in our country. And that's obviously super pertinent right now. So if you can exercise that to try to make a long-standing change that will positively impact our fellow Americans, you absolutely have to do that. So that's reason number 22. 23, Emma, you want to hit it?
I guess, like, piggybacking off, kind of summarizing everything, is the community depends on you, and similar to what we've been kind of saying, like, stand up for those who just don't have the privilege to.
Right.
So
absolutely, totally, good points. I'm also going to refer to Michelle Obama again for my next one because her speech just like is so good. And she said at some point in that DNC speech, things can and will get worse. Like this will only be the beginning of the America we're living in if a change is not made. And personally, again, like I don't want to put my political belief, I think it's clear where I stand at this point, and I think it's clear who I'm voting for in November. But for me, Trump is not the answer. Like I don't think anything's going to be resolved. So I'm voting because I do not want Trump to be in charge anymore. That's number 24 for me. I think it's time for another participant, though. Does anyone want to say anything? Does anything pop up? Flag me down, feel free, and if not, that's okay too. Okay, let's transition now to Allie G, who's also sent in an audio clip for us. She also has a lot of great little quotes that she included for us, and I'm excited to hear them. Let me cue her up, you guys. This is Allie Giordano. Here we go.
Hello, h.e.r.LIFE followers. It's Allie G. I'm so excited to be back for another episode. I think voting is so important and essential in our democracy. I want to share some quotes with you, and then I'll give you my reasons for voting. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Plato. There is no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter. Barack Obama. We do not have government by the majority. We have government by the majority who participate. Thomas Jefferson. My reasons for voting are: let your heart be heard. Your morals and values are cemented by this action. It's not just a right, it's a responsibility. Do not dismiss your obligation. And leave the world a little better than you found it. You have the power to make a change. Wishing you all well, and get out there and vote.
Wasn't that cute? I was like, my heart felt so warm after I listened.
Do I have tears in my eyes? Maybe. Wow, that was so beautifully said.
That was really good.
Oh, it just brings the human aspect to it. You know, I'm actually like crying.
No, I thought that was so good. Like when she said that to me, I was like, I cannot wait. Like it's very beautiful and so true. I think like so simple, but just, oh my God. And her quotes are great. Like, I don't know. I feel so, Allie G coming in hot.
So
like
sweet too.
She's absolutely, she has this little voice. I just
like she portrayed it. Yeah, her voice is like, oh.
She's gonna be a teacher too. We got lots of teachers on this episode, but like she'll be a fantastic teacher. She's starting
so good
teaching for a first grade classroom this year. So she's super excited. But I think that'll be so cute. I'm just so happy for her. Allie G, thank you for participating. We love to hear from you. We have the most recent guest of the h.e.r.LIFE blogcast to kind of round out this episode right now. Brennan Sisco sent us a video, which I will share. She lists a couple of reasons. She's been like crazy busy. So thank you, Brennan, for participating still in this episode. Let me cue her up. I'm going to do another screen share. Okay. YouTube content. They see the outline. This is like very behind the scenes. Brennan.
Hi, I'm Brennan. When it comes to voting, it's very, very important that you do. Whether or not you think so, your vote matters. And it is the most powerful right that you have as an American citizen, and you should use it. Plenty of people fight wars so that they could have the ability to vote like you do, just being born into this country. So take advantage of that. And my second reason that you should vote is because you want to be more diligent than the generation before you. You want to be more aware, more just all around caring and involved. And the best way that you can do that is with your vote. So please, please, please vote. Vote. This election matters so, so much.
Oh, we love. Great points, no? We love Brennan. She's a great asset to our squad. Okay, that brings us up to reason 29. Does anyone have anything to say or reflect on before we start rounding out this 30th episode special? No?
Yes.
Oh, yay.
This question is for the people of her. When you guys started this blogcast, did you think that episode 30, this is where we'd be, or would it be more, like, what is this how you thought this would play out?
No, I think, no, not at all. I think I would have assumed the 30th episode would be like the 30 hottest guys we've mentioned on the show thus far. Like, genuinely, I think that would have been a more like on the nose guess for what I would have predicted. I think this episode came from, for a lot of different reasons. I think the timing of it was important. I think with the conventions happening, like we've talked about, it was very, you know, on the top of my mind anyway. So I think it made sense. And also I've just been reflecting, like, there are so many reasons, you know, and I think the most impactful thing for me as I was reflecting is how different truly my perspective is now compared to 2016, the last time I voted in a presidential election. So much has changed, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of how differently I view the world and how I think much more considerate a person I am for my fellow Americans, genuinely. And I think Fordham had a lot to do with that. I think that changed my perspective. I think knowing all of you changed that in a lot of ways. I don't know, I'm different now. I'm more outspoken now, and it feels good. Like, it's like, who is this girl? I like her. That's how I feel. I'm curious what like Emma and Hannah think in response to this question though too. Like, did you think we would be here? Like, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree. No, but a lot has changed. A lot has happened. And I think, I just didn't. I don't know what I thought we would be talking about, because I don't know, like lifestyle, like just, I think we had like a lot of things we would have been talking about, like if we, like we're living in the city still and like moved into, I don't know, that's redundant, moved into the city, but you know what I mean? Like just, times are weird, man. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm also like really proud of us that you can see like our transition over these 30 episodes that we've talked about, like conversations that I don't think initially we would ever kind of talk about, and we're like challenging ourselves, and I think that's really important to just do with like your friends in general. So I'm really happy that we've decided to do this episode and talk about various other topics that are challenging as well.
Totally. Yeah, and I think like it's helpful even within just our own community, like whenever we're shooting an episode like this, even if it didn't go anywhere, this is a phenomenally productive conversation for me. And I would do it even if it didn't go anywhere. But the fact that it is going somewhere makes it feel weightier to me and more important. And the fact that people like are still listening and more people are listening every week, like that is something that's very cool. And I like Emma was saying, like to trace the progress of how this show has kind of evolved and how it's getting more successful as we go on is really cool, because it's like we are on the right track. And we're making stuff that matters, certainly to us and like kind of to other people too. That's very cool. It's very cool. Great question, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay, any other closing remarks before I give reason number 30, which kind of has to do with what we were talking about? I'll dive right in.
Yeah,
reason number 30 for voting in 2020. Here's my thing. If you've listened this long, if you made it to this point in the episode, I'm assuming either you know one of us on this show somewhat well, or you've got a vested interest in what we have to say. And because of that, I want you to know, like, this took a lot of time to prep. Hannah, Emma, you know, like before this, I was not in a good, like I was very stressed at the start of this episode. There was a lot of moving parts, having people come in from the waiting room and having the Zoom party and having like all the videos queued up. I was very anxious. It took a lot of prep. It's going to take a lot of editing to make it ready for the airwaves. Like a lot is going into it. And it is my hope that that is an indication to anybody listening how important this is and how strongly we all feel about it. You know, like I want you to vote so much. I want you to make sure that you're registered. I want you to make sure that everyone else that you know is registered and is going to exercise this phenomenal right that not everybody gets, and we do. And if this episode and its production and process helps to encourage you to do so, that's the most important thing our show's ever done so far. And I hope that it continues to do that. Reason number 30. Bam.
That's very beautiful, Rach.
I love you guys. G, thank you so much for being here. Like,
thank you so much for having me.
It's so cool. I love to have like I feel like, especially because you were there like one of the very first episodes, so it's very cool to watch the whole transition happening. Kevin's been along for the ride the entire time. We don't go a month without having Kevin on the show. So it just feels really cool. I'm glad this group is here. I'm glad Laurel came and everyone who sent in submissions. It means a lot. The h.e.r. ensemble is a really great group of people, and I'm happy to be a part of it. All right. I think we'll wrap it up then, guys. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you to everyone who participated. This is so meaningful to us, obviously, and your contribution means a lot to us and to everybody listening. Plus, when more people are on the show, more people listen to the show, so it helps in both ways. If you like what you're hearing, make sure to follow us on Spotify or subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts. Also, feel free to leave us a rate or review or share it with your friends. Do all of that kind of stuff. It really helps us. You can also find us on Instagram with some IGTV content at h.e.r.blog.life. For blog posts, you can go to www.h.e.r.bloglife.online. And for behind-the-scenes videos of our recordings like this one, to see Devin's facial hair, to see Brennan's mood lighting, to see it all, just search Rachel on YouTube. As always, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next Sunday for our Labor Day special. I'm really excited about that one. That does it for us.
I'm Hannah Logerfo.
I'm Emma Spoldi.
And I'm Rachel Malak. This has been the h.e.r.LIFE Blogcast.